Shady Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCAst, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they laying up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin. I'm the POT, and that over there is my tag team partner, Big E, aka Them Wrestling Boys. And we're here to bring you another episode of premium wrestling content. What's going on, bro?
My brother, what's happening?
Hey, man, here for another one.
Hey, well, it's episode 16. We getting close to 20.
Sweet 16.
Hey, we banging them out, bro. But yeah, we getting to a milestone at 20. Hey man, shout out to all the subscribers, new subscribers, originals, and future subscribers. Shout out to everybody. Hey man, we are less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. We're less than a week. We're a week and a half.
Shit,
a week and a day. Because it's Friday. So the next time we see y'all, we'll be previewing WrestleMania day 1, and then the week after that, day 2, or doing a review. Today we're going to preview both days, the full cards, and we'll talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, man, it's WrestleMania, dog. We're gonna record. That'll be monumental. So I'm really looking forward to that, man. Been moving some stuff around in the Welcome to Wrasslin studios over here. But yeah, so we're definitely gonna go live on Facebook and on StreamYard while we're watching, and then we'll record afterwards. And that'll be out that Monday afterwards, and then the next week will be day 2. So we'll knock those out. But today we're going to talk a little bit about all the matches and give our predictions and what we think. And yeah, man, something we've been looking forward to. Of course, you look forward to WrestleMania every year, but every year is just better and better and better. So it gets different and it gets more exciting. And now we're at 2 days now. And and it's crazy because WrestleMania is on 4/20 and on Easter.
Right.
And
right.
Easter is on 4/20. So,
Right. Go figure.
Right. So it's either so it's going to be a busy day. But, yeah, man, I tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about the Hall of Fame before we talk about the cards. And the Hall of Fame, you got the 3 headliners. Of course, you got Triple H will be headlining the whole thing. He'll be the one to go on last. Michelle McCool and the total package, Lex Luger. I don't know if it's a little soon to put Triple H in there by itself. I guess, because he just took over, the full takeover this time, not just in charge and still answering events and everything, but this is the full takeover. And does he deserve it? Of course. Definitely deserves to go in there, not as a DX member, but by itself. I know it wasn't his idea, and I'm sure you got a lot of people out there, he had to pull himself over in all the matches because he married the owner's daughter. Now he's got to put himself in off. No, dude deserves everything he gets and then some. Is a national treasure to this business that they say now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Michelle McCool, you know, hey, it's people that listen. When it comes to WWE Hall of Fame, you're gonna have hits and misses and question marks all the time. You know, so I'm not gonna say she doesn't deserve it. It's just every time you put somebody in there, there's always names that come to mind that should be in there already, no matter who it is. So no disrespect to her or her career, but when you got a couple of women wrestlers out there that deserve to be in there, they've had a pretty, stellar career and a little better career than her. So, and we'll leave that at that. But like I say, no disrespect to her. I'm sure she's excited. You're gonna have a husband and a wife is both Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. And then you got the total package. Lex Luger. The resume speaks for itself. Lex Luger's he's different. As wrestling fans, real wrestling fans know he was not a fan of the business. He's one of them that didn't grow up to want to be a wrestler. A lot of people say he came in there with a big ego when he first came in. I think he's more humble now than ever.
Absolutely.
With the things that he's been through. I'm not even talking. I'm talking, the stuff with Miss Elizabeth and, a lot of stuff he's been through with all the arrests and stuff. But the turning around, the turnaround story is always a great story to hear too.
Right.
And if you look at, what's happened to him, has he paid for a lot of that stuff? It kind of seems like he has, to be, you always talk about he had the 2% body fat. Now he's not even 200 pounds. He's, in a wheelchair and still trying to stand up on his own. You know what I'm saying? So, in which he can stand up a little bit if you've been watching the DDP stuff with him. And shout out to Diamond Dallas Page right down the road, Smyrna, Georgia. And bang. But does he deserve it? Yeah, I would say so. Multi-time WCW world champion, was on close to being, he had a big, huge run in WWF. They tried to push him up there.
Lex Express.
Yeah. And body slam Yokozuna and all that stuff.
He was just surprised at the first Nitro.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a 4 horseman. Forever, one of the things he'll be known for is running away from Bruiser Brody in the cage match. So look, man, total package belongs in there. If you're gonna, he was you talk about guys that were really, WCW guy. He was a WCW guy. He might have left and did this and did that, but he always came back, and that's where he spent the majority of his career. That's where he belongs. He did some small stuff in TNA, but you really didn't see anything after the fact of WCW being closed down. But good, good baby face, good heel. You could go on and on about talking about his accolades and stuff. And had some big matches. Beat Hogan for the title when Hogan was NWO, and so yeah, man. And then they got the what do they call the legacy guys to come in? And you got Kamala and Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk Jr. and Ivan Koloff. And then you're gonna have the natural disasters. So what do you think about those guys?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna go down the list. For Triple H. I have my Rushmore. It almost pains me to not put Triple H in my Rushmore because to me, he's definitely one of the GOATs. People say what they want to say about that guy, but he covered all the bases as far as doing what's best for business, having the smarts. Obviously, he runs the show right now, but he
Right.
also was good in the ring, so you can't sit and deny like he couldn't wrestle either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the dude. Then for these people always talking about how he put people like how he hold people down, but the dude got one of the worst WrestleMania records out of all the superstars.
Of
Like
all time.
I
Right.
mean, he's like LeBron James in the finals. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
straight up. So anybody who wants to say anything bad, and then far as is it the right time? Yeah, he like you said, he wasn't the one who put himself in.
Right.
That was a Nick
Nick
Khan thing.
Conte. Yeah.
So but I mean the man his last official match at WrestleMania 35. I mean that was 6 years
Well,
ago.
yeah, you're right about that.
You know what I mean? So I mean like,
Yeah. And that's why
so
you're on here. You're the statistician.
yeah.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
I mean, when is the right time for that? You know what I mean? It's not like they
Right.
have a special criteria.
Right.
Whereas
You got to be
NFL, you
out of
got
the
to be
league 5
retired
years.
5 years or whatever, right? So
Right.
shout out Triple H, congratulations. Hope he's able to enjoy the moment, especially being one of the bosses, because he got wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Now, far as Michelle McCool, she came in a little weird era.
Yeah.
Her era was kind of like when they was kind of getting out of the just tits and ass, where she can actually wrestle a little bit.
Yeah.
Like she came after Trish and Lita and Mickey James and all of that. So her era was, I mean, no, she wasn't the best. But how many in that era do you put in? You already got Lita and Trish.
Right.
Yeah, Mickey James gonna be next eventually.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Got a Gail Kim that belongs in there. You don't know if
Gail
she'll ever.
Kim,
Yeah.
but she didn't have which, of course, what I'm about to say kind of contradicting what the WWE Hall of Fame has been, but she hasn't had a WWE run barely at all. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, that's
You
true.
know,
You know.
but that doesn't mean because we see how that's not always the criteria.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know, man. But hey, congrats to her. Like you said, her and husband, wife, her and Undertaker. Hey, share that moment. Kudos. Um, far natural disasters. I don't know. So, I mean, I think they even though there's a lot of people that we believe that should be in, it's not in, and they also kind of running out of names to put in as well.
Right.
I kind of feel like, how do you not put Demolition in before them?
Right.
I don't, and that's not even counting the Midnight Express and Lord knows how many other tag teams. Just like we just had a tag team
Right.
episode,
Right.
but
But you
I
you
just
still got the Midnight Express. Like they're like Dale Murphy. Everybody's
boy,
like, how are they not in there?
boy,
You know what I'm saying? How is it? You
right?
know,
So
and they just
so
sitting over there on the sideline waiting to get in the game, and you've already lost Bobby Eaton.
and like I say, even I mentioned Demolition. I felt like they had a better run than the Natural. I mean, the Natural Disasters won tag team titles and everything, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you
Uh,
know, I mean, it's a lot of people want to tag titles.
yeah, I know. So
They
I
can't
don't know
be.
about that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these decisions, like we don't know who makes these
And,
decisions, and it is wrestling.
well, let me touch on Luger though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, far as Luger, people say what they want to say about Luger. I've kind of lukewarm to Luger, but we grew up in the South. We
Yeah,
watched a lot less Luger. Sting's buddy, Steiner Brothers buddy. Like, he was a face, but he also was a heel at times.
right,
Spent most of his time in WCW, so we were seeing a lot of Les Luger. Um, I mean, I think he's deserving. I mean, he's not the guy, but he sure as hell was far from being a mid carder too. He pretty much
right.
a main eventer.
Yeah,
His whole damn time since '87. When he started
yeah,
with the Horsemen and Jim Crockett. So, um, like you said, he looked like he paid for his sins. We don't know these people personally.
right.
But as far as you want to just take out of the ring stuff out of it, And again, it's not like he was the best technician, but he had a following. He won multiple championships. I mean, the crowd responded to him whether you liked him or not. He definitely deserved to be in it. So, and then the legacy guys, I mean, Ivan Koloff, that hell yeah, Kamala. I mean, even though that's before a lot of our times, but of course in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, those guys were major players
Right. Absolutely.
in WWF. I mean,
Yeah,
Ivan
yeah, yeah.
Koloff won the WWF World Title from Bruno San Martino.
Right. Right.
So
And was big in NWA too.
yeah. Well, that's what probably a lot of people will know him from. Like
Right.
our era.
Yeah.
With the Russian.
Yeah.
But
But before that,
so
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So shout out to all those folks, and I'm always look forward to seeing those guys, dress up, tell their stories, man, and really to share that moment with their family and their peers, man. It's always, WrestleMania weekend and week it's what it is, man. And we right there at it. I'm excited. So I'm
Yeah, me too.
congrats to all the Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah. And it's all work out too, like both boys games Saturdays or early games. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Hey, bro, it's gonna be like from what 6 to 12, 6 to 11, something like that. So you're gonna have some good stuff going on. Just real quick, as we sit here and talk about Luger, he was involved in everything. If you based it off his WWF career, then no. You got to base it on the whole career. And if you based it on WWF career, some of them guys wouldn't be in there.
Right. They wouldn't have a Hall of Fame.
Right.
Well, they
right.
would,
but you know what I mean. You don't have a Sting in there. You don't have Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They don't have a Hall of Fame careers just at WWF. They had good careers, but they're not the stars they were when they became the Outsiders and the NWO and all that stuff. I don't think. I mean, they were big time over there, but it wasn't for long. You see what I'm saying?
I a little bit on Hall and Nash because they wouldn't have been Hall and Nash if it wasn't for Diesel and Razor Ramon.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
Diesel was world champion. I mean, I'm not saying that he had the greatest run or nothing.
Right. But I'm saying the longevity was not there.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that.
That's true. But again, like you said earlier, there's a lot of folks we can take off that list.
Right. So, and I'm not
but
talking about
what I'm saying is it wouldn't have been no Outsiders if it wasn't for Diesel and Razor.
Oh no, because you're not going to be excited if the Diamond Stud, comes back and says,
right?
You know why I'm here,
or Vinny Vegas,
right?
What's up?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no, I mean it's a proven fact that, I mean it goes both ways, but they might not get over here, but they can get over there,
right?
And it didn't. Like they said, Steve Austin, fired Steve Austin.
Yeah.
He goes to WWF because one of the biggest superstars of all time.
Right.
Just like we had WCW had the Undertaker. You'll never be anybody.
Son of a bitch doing a heart punch.
Right. You'll never be, anything. You'll never draw money.
That's true.
And you see what happened. So,
right.
But yeah, man. So shout out to all them guys. Dory Funk Jr., we left him off. Yeah, he definitely belongs. I hate that Terry Funk don't get to see it. With R.I.P. Terry Funk and but the Funks, they probably should have went in together. As brothers anyway. Talk
about legendary.
Yeah. Both NWA
NWA
World Heavyweight Champions. So that's big for them, man. Big for the Funk family.
Mr. Cutler is not through with you yet.
Hey, Nose Hurt Hawks. But Yeah, man. So let's jump into WrestleMania. WrestleMania
Yes,
41,
sir.
Las Vegas. Las Vegas. They have released the cards to a certain extent. So night one, the triple threat match. No, the world heavyweight title is going to be the first match. Gunther and Jey Uso. Jey Uso Monday showed up in that all black with them black yeet glasses on. And prayed to God and asked God to forgive him for the person he's about to become. Brother, when I tell you I'm all bought in with Jey Uso being the world heavyweight champion. Shout out to Gunther. Without him saying a word, in just the faces he was making, like, okay, maybe I went a little too far last week, and this could, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's starting to really mean business.
Right.
But, and let's not get away from the fact that we know wrestling is scripted, okay? So they, we're a lot of them guys are not old school. They're gonna talk about what they talk about before they go out there. But wrestling is like, it's like watching a soap, like a TV series, watching a movie. And everybody knows a grown man has got to have balls the size of grapefruits to get out there and tell somebody face to face that they're afraid of them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I really loved how they put that in there, and how he got so emotional, because what grown man really wants to tell some, or would even say, I might be afraid of you, but you'll never know it.
Right.
Men don't do that. They don't want to do that. And pride and ego gets into the way of that.
Right.
So I thought that was big. Like I say, I'm bought in. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but right now I'm telling you, I want to predict that Jey Uso wins the world heavyweight title. I think if he does win it, I think that place will go crazy. I think the first two title defenses will be good, and then they'll probably move on. Just depending on how it goes. But, do I see him having the belt like Roman or anything like that? No. But I see him getting a few title defenses and getting the title. I can see it. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. I just don't know. And, me, like, I always look for the interaction, before the matches, when they do different stuff. If this is the last Raw before WrestleMania, if I don't, no, they're going to have one more. So they didn't have no altercation, but it's always the one that gets their ass whooped. The Raw or SmackDown before they get the win.
It's almost like whoever sets up the table goes through it.
Right. Yeah. Roll Tide.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and predict that. I hope it happens. I'm predicting as a fan and not as a so-called journalist that we might be one of these days with the but as a fan, I want to see Jey Uso win the championship. So I'm saying he wins.
You know what? I kind of got I'm with you with the promo, especially how they did that segment the week before.
Yeah.
With Jimmy taking that L, and of course he was tie wrapped. Jay was tie wrapped, and we discussed all that last week's episode. I'm gonna go the other direction.
Yeah.
Because we can't always be on the same page, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I think it'll be a great moment, but I'm thinking of like WrestleMania 39. When we thought Cody was gonna finish his story, only to be disappointed. The reason why I say that is because Cody finished his story last year. Great moment.
Yeah.
Priest cash in Money in the Bank, even though not the same, but great moment, right?
Uh,
Sami Zayn beat Gunther last year. Gunther was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Great moment.
yeah,
They're not going to keep having these great moments. They're going to disappoint fans just to keep us
right.
on our toes.
Yeah,
That's why I'm going a different direction here. I'm not saying he won't ever win the world title. He might win Saturday, and I'm not saying I don't want him to win. It'd be a
yeah.
great moment. But this the reason why I'm going the other direction. I think that's going to be the one disappointment, and they're going to start the show with that.
Okay. Hey man, I'm all for it, and I definitely understand what you're saying, and I can definitely agree. You know, the like I say, the place will go crazy, but is there longevity there? You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that too, because if he was to win, like you said, maybe he may hold it till SummerSlam. He may,
Yeah, yeah.
he may, you know, don't know, but he has to win it first.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, then we got Rey Mysterio and one of the greatest luchadors of all time, El Grande Americano.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start this one out, bro.
All right.
This is one of the matches where I'm just kind of like, but I do like Chad Gable. I do like him, and of course, Ray's a legend,
Right.
WWE Hall of Fame already. So
Already.
I'm not. I think it's gonna be a good match, but it's not a match. I'm just like, oh, I can't wait to watch. It's just kind of like it's just filling time for me. So I really
Yeah.
don't have much of an opinion. Um, I'm gonna say that Ray gonna get the win just because they, you know,
It's WrestleMania. Yeah.
it's WrestleMania. Plus, again, like I said, the fans gonna be pissed off because Jey Uso's not gonna win. My
Yes.
prediction.
So
So Ray
it's
is
gonna be a
gonna
stellar
pick.
crowd by then. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray gonna pick the crowd up
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
victory.
Okay. No, I'm with that. I see Ray winning all the way. I don't think you disappoint with him. Um, I love what Chad Gable does. I think he's one of those guys, man, that they're using all the funny stuff. He'll let him be serious every once in a while, but he can really go in the ring. He's a smaller guy, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not like he can just, but dude can go. He's got, they got a little run going with his little stable or whatnot, little faction or whatever. So, I think it's gonna be a good one. I don't see him winning. They probably take the mask off or something. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking too. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
something silly where he get his mask pulled off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll both go pull for Ray on that one. Um, WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus the returning Charlotte Flair. Hadn't really seen you've got to see little promos and stuff, and they've gone off script a little bit, like everybody says, and but as far as ring stuff, you haven't really seen a lot of Charlotte. I am definitely looking forward to her pulling out everything, and being whatever she's gonna be, like 42-time women's heavyweight champion of the world. Because it's like what? She's already been there 14 times, right? Isn't it 14? I should ask you. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
14-time champion.
Yeah. She's okay. So she's 93-time women's champion. So if she's 93 times, I say it's gonna be 94. I like Tiffany Stratton. I think she's different. She's tough, but she ain't the GOAT. And the GOAT's coming back. And she's finna take her title back.
Yeah. Honest again. This is another match. I'm just kind of like, look, I don't know, man. I am curious to see Charlotte work with the knee brace. Tiffany Stratton match, man. Like, to be honest with you, it's one of the matches where I'm not really so excited about it. I don't know, man. It's again, Charlotte been gone for a while. It's good to see her back. You got a knee brace,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. I just I, it's not moving the meter for me, and that's personal
Yeah.
opinion. It's not one of the
Yeah.
matches that it's just a filler.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the women's title, so it's something on the line, so it makes it, like, and I'm like you, I'm definitely interested in seeing how she works with the brace on, and see if the arsenal has been taken back a little bit. There's some things she can't do, so and how is she gonna feel, out there like that? So we're gonna find out, man, definitely. So that's um like I say,
Right.
I'm gonna say she's gonna win and keep it at that one. I'm gonna say Charlotte Flair comes over and wins the title.
I agree. Now they did make some headlines with their promo last week. I don't know if it really
Oh
went off
yeah,
script. Was it a work? Was it a shoot? Was it a little of both? I
yeah,
mean, give them both credit. It seemed like they were slinging mud. Which, hey,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. You try to make the people invested. So I give them both credit for that. But again, with all the matches on night one and night two, that's definitely pretty low on the list for me, to be honest.
right, right. Be time to check your phone and talking about other stuff while the match is on, but still watching. Yeah, going to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Go to concession stand.
You said that, not me. That's the popcorn match.
Right. All right. So we got LA Knight and Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. Now, I said it before on here. Right now, as we speak, Jacob Fatu's at the top of my list as my guy. I'm not a big LA Knight fan. I don't like, I don't. To me, I mean, he can work, but he's a catchphrase guy. You know what I'm saying? I know he's got this and that, but he just went trying to think who you can. To me, he's corny. Like he tries too hard to be cool, type thing. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you just hating. I mean, I get it. You know. Uh, nah, I completely understand though. But you always let it be known you weren't really LA Knight guy. I'm a kind of in between. I remember him as Eli Drake and all that
Yeah,
in TNA and all that kind of stuff. He definitely a catchphrase guy. I agree. To me, he's more like which why a lot of people have like a Kevin Nash, for example, have issues with LA Knight. It's kind of to me, he's like a Rock and Stone Cold put together. Like he kind
right,
of stole their style. Kind of
right,
mannerisms and stuff. So like the Rock, but he talks like Stone Cold and the Rock, and
right.
so I get why somebody like you would be like, so I get it. But that's another reason why the crowd love him because he's good at it. You
Yeah,
know, so the whole trying too hard thing, I don't see it that way because his shit's working. So
yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
don't see him trying too hard when he say everybody say and the whole fucking crowd say LA Knight, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I hear you.
it works.
But
He's over.
yeah.
When
Well,
the
I hope
music
it
hit,
is
they
over.
pop.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna, bro. I'm not gonna like everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna dig everybody that gets over. You know what I'm saying? I don't dig this guy. I think he tries too hard. I think a lot of this stuff is corny. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but it's just corny to me. And it's funny to me, like when you talk about him and Kevin Nash and all that stuff, they kind of remind me of each other because Kevin Nash was cool, but Kevin Nash would say stuff that nobody would get. And nobody, and I was it's like, man, it's so corny because you really have to think about, you know what I'm saying? Because they kind of remind me of each other. if you think about it, if you want to go deep into it, you know what I mean?
He thought he was smarter than everybody, though.
Right. You know, when the adjective wasn't an adjective, you know, but anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a good match. I think you're finally gonna get to see Jacob Fatu pull out his whole move set. And I don't think everybody's been able to, and they gonna put it out there for the world to see, dog. And I think it's gonna go crazy. I think he was gonna really show up. You're gonna get everything off the top rope. You're gonna get you're gonna get it all. You know, so and I would love to see him come out Friday with the tag, with the U.S. title, how you wear it across the top, like it's a necklace, and he'll do that stuff, or just right. I done seen the man walk to the ring with the title in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, I love dude, man. I'm a big Jacob Fatu fan. Yeah. I'm a big Jacob Fatu fan, so I can't. I'm pulling for him to win. And matter of fact, I'm predicting him to win, walk away with the title. And if you leave it up to me, all titles are changing.
I dig Jacob Fatu as well. Of course, I like pretty much all of that family bloodline. However, I think that he's not going to win, and the reason why is because Solo is going to be the reason why he's not going to win, and that's really going to kickstart. They already been planting seeds for them to fall out. Yeah, I think that's going to play a factor, and somehow LA Knight Solo going to fuck it up.
Yeah,
for him.
Okay,
and that's going to be his reason to go mayhem on Solo.
Yeah, I like it.
So that's my prediction. LA Knight goes over.
Yeah.
Because of Solo.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that happening. Yeah, they are planting the seeds. He said he's going to do it with or without them. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see what happens, man. Then you got Naomi and Jade. It's going to be Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Naomi's that girl. She's going to show up. She's going to show out. The entrance is going to be crazy. Her outfit is going to be crazy. She'll do everything, but it's Jade's revenge tour. She going to put a hurting on Naomi. And but I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be better than people think. I think that's the reason why Jade was taken off TV to polish her up a little bit. And I'm saying certain other things, she might have been injured, but I'm almost willing to bet the farm that they just needed to polish her up just a little bit more and get her
for
ready.
A coming out party.
Yeah,
it's a real coming out party.
Yeah, and I think it's solo. It's not with a tag team. It's not with Bianca Belair. It's just her and Naomi. So I'm looking forward to that. When like I say, she's gonna do all her power moves and make her. She's gonna go out there and look like a monster, and put everybody on notice. So that's gonna be a good one. Jay goes over big time.
I agree. I think this is probably gonna be, to be honest with you, I don't want to call it a squash match. I'm not calling it a squash match, but I think it's gonna be probably one of the. They probably not gonna have as much time as the other matches.
Right.
And I think Naomi probably gonna hit some of her shit early. And then Jay gonna make a big comeback and like to hit her power moves and showcase what she's been working on. And I think she's gonna go over big time as well. I don't see no interference or no nothing, no stopping her. I think they're gonna make her look dominant so she can move on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we on the same page with that one. Yeah, and I definitely agree with what you say. War Raiders and the New Day for the tag team titles?
I I kind of knew they would play it out, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
they had a great run, even with E. Langston. I But it was so played out. They talking about corny and popcorn and I mean, gee whiz, man. Like even
yeah,
when even in their heyday, it was like it was hard for me. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
respected them, the run, but man, I couldn't get with that Booty-O's and the unicorn, and I couldn't get with that. So I kind of like the new gimmick a little bit, where they like heels and they're like, they kind of got a little edge. So I'm gonna predict them to win. I'm gonna predict them because they've been coming close with the War Raiders lately, and War Raiders they haven't, I mean they're not special. I mean I respect them. They very good athletes and big guys.
yeah,
Ivar is a beast.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so I mean I respect the War Raiders, but it's not like there's nothing really special. And I feel like they probably gonna let New Day have a moment. They ain't been tag champions in a while.
right.
So now with this new attitude and stuff, I think they gonna, I think they've been doing good with their work as far as being heels the way that they are. So I think they will get rewarded and have their moment of becoming tag team champions again at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you said everything I'm pretty much thinking. And we'll just roll with that. I'm cool with everything you just said. There got like I say, it got played out. I didn't like all the pancakes and all that stuff. I thought that stuff was stupid. You
Yeah.
know, some of it was funny, a lot of it was corny. You know, I love the stuff they did with the Usos and different stuff like that. But like I say, it's been played out. All the pink and the blue and all that stuff. So I'm digging the I'm a heel. I'm the heel of the show anyway. So I'm digging the heel gimmick now. And like I said, I think they get rewarded as well. War Raiders, I was about to call them War Machine. They're War Machine and Ring of Honor. But War Raiders, man, they like I say, when you got a big dude out there that can do those things, it's spectacular to watch. But like I said, I like them. They're tough guys. But yeah, definitely New Day goes over. All right, man. So we got the main event for night one. We got the triple threat. We got Roman versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Mhm.
All right. We know what's on the line now. Is the custody of Paul Heyman.
Basically.
that's that's what the match is about. Whoever gets custody.
Basically.
It's a custody fight.
He's the title.
Right. I like I
Right.
mean,
Right.
we found out what the favor
Um,
was.
I, well, we talked about in the past how it's a shame that this is not for one of the world titles, but
Yeah.
they did make it interesting with the whole Paul Heyman dynamic, especially
Yeah.
with like you said, the favor, and then that segment last week though with first of all three of them are phenomenal.
Yeah.
With promos and all four of them. Because Paul Heyman is definitely a big part of that, obviously. But the work that they've been doing, and with the contract signing, the favor, well, that's not my favor. Well, this is my favor, and then the work that Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins did last week was just cinematic, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just the way Seth was just like poking them and just like, I can eliminate you. It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be best for all of us. You know what I mean? But he was like fucking with him, poking him, and then Paul snapped. Don't put your damn hands on me again. Like he grew some balls. So it was,
Yeah, he said,
Seth like
"Hey,
Seth like,
you
oh, okay. So
get
like,
your damn hands off of
yeah.
her."
So so Seth was like, "Oh, okay. So you want me to do something to you for real?" Of course, Punk came out there and they had the little brawl, but
Right.
Just the way they choreographed that, man, with the stomp, and then he was about to stomp Heyman, but he didn't, and he was kind of like, I could have.
Right.
And
Now
the
you owe
work
me
that
a favor.
Paul Heyman, man, yeah, and the faces he be making, man, like just
Yeah.
so cinematic, just dramatic, man. Like the way he was looking, like, oh my god, he could have stopped my head off, you know. So
Right.
now it's like, okay, now he owes Seth a favor. So what's going to happen? That was a great
Yeah.
storytelling,
The
and
go home
so
Raw
I
is gonna be
apologize
good.
to storytelling. It just so I want to apologize for my comments last week as far as I said something was missing. It was the world title, one of the
Yeah.
world
We both said it.
titles.
Yeah, we both said it.
But
So but yeah, they did a good they must have
well,
been listening. Somebody was listening.
but I I like the story they're telling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
somebody from WWE heard the show and said, hey, this is what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to, put it in the mix. So hey man, shout out to us for changing WrestleMania up and making it better. But
What's your prediction though?
oh wow. I don't know. That's one, like I say, we'll find out Monday, you know, a little bit deeper, like how they're gonna do is, I mean, because what it sounds like he's gonna ask him to be in his corner, and what's everybody gonna do, and this, and this. CM
I
Punk's
don't
gonna
know.
event WrestleMania, so he doesn't have to win. Um, I don't know if Paul Heyman causes somebody, if he causes Roman Reigns the chat, you got Paul Heyman there to do the favor for whoever, and nobody, whoever wins or loses this match, nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt really, because it's not going to be a 1, 2, 3. If something's going to happen, I don't really know who's going to win this one. Because you got CM Punk doesn't have to win. He's main eventing. He doesn't have to win. None of them have to win.
Right.
Anything can happen. It's not going to hurt none of them. They all got stuff coming up, after this. But who goes into the title picture? How do you go in the title picture when you lost a triple threat? Just stuff like that is hard to praise. You want to say it's Roman. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of this match. Anything can happen. What it's going to lead to, we don't know. You got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. CM Punk, how many WrestleManias does he have left?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How many programs does he have left with other guys?
Right.
I think it's gonna be a knockdown drag out. I even see, like, I'll tell you what, they really could keep going with this and do it in
Yeah,
a do it in a cage, do something different. If something happens, and they could keep really running with it.
I agree.
And then you got one where all three guys win one of the matches. You see
I
what I'm
see that.
saying?
Or they can
And
do different one-on-one matches like Punk, Roman, Seth, Roman. You,
right,
you know what I mean? They can.
yeah,
Yeah, I can see that. They can definitely keep the story going.
yeah. So and it keeps them out of the title picture, but it also keeps them up here too.
Right.
Yeah. While you let a couple other guys get the title for a minute, and then one of them gets back on top again, because eventually they're gonna, you're gonna have Roman Cody, again, maybe.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I don't see why you wouldn't.
Well,
So
I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easy though, bro. Because yeah, Raw's Monday, but they're not gonna see us until WrestleMania. So you're gonna have to make a damn prediction, bro. So who you got?
I'm gonna go with Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah,
And the
I can.
favor is gonna be cost Roman Reigns the match.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. Uh, I like to be
Okay.
different. and I know it's 3, so 33% odds. The Scott Steiner math. 33 and a third percent. But but I agree with you. And just like you said, but I think the issue is that favor.
Right.
The Seth Rollins favor. What that favor may be, we don't know. But it sounds like it's gonna have something to do with that match. And it's gonna be
Yeah.
the point in the match where it's gonna be Dusty Rhodes finish or something. The referee's gonna be knocked out or something's gonna happen. Paul's gonna be put in a position where is he gonna help Punk? Is he gonna help Roman?
Yeah.
And Seth gonna give him that look, or it's gonna be something. And so I agree with you. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 41.
All right. Sounds good. Hey man, let's keep it going. Let's go to night 2, Sunday night, Easter Sunday, 420.
420.
That's crazy. Anyway, we'll start out with the women's tag team titles. Got Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan versus Bayley and Lyra, the Intercontinental Champion. And that one, they just called that one and put that one together. I think you said they announced that one tonight, correct?
Yeah, they had the tag team gauntlet match.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So that's been announced tonight. So they really haven't had any kind of storytelling to do.
Well, they actually already been it kind of makes sense that, because Liv and they kind of been dealing with Bayley and them on Raw anyway.
Right.
It kind of makes sense that they won.
Yeah, Raquel had the Intercontinental match not too long ago with her. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it does make sense. Like I say, but they really haven't had no time to put their match. Story. Yeah, yeah. Right. So we'll see what happens with them on Monday and how they approach one another on Friday. Because with you're gonna have Dom out there. Dom gonna be getting double duty. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm gonna go with Liv and Raquel keeping the tag team titles.
I agree
on that one.
I think maybe
every title can't change.
Yeah, plus I think something gonna happen between Bayley and Lyra. I mean, because you gotta think they already been facing each other, even though they both faces and they kind of have respect for each other and they doing the tag team thing, but it's like, something's gonna happen. And I don't know if it's Bayley gonna be the heel because she was a heel and she's face now. I don't know if they're gonna turn her back heel already. Maybe it's Lyra. I don't know. Anything can happen though, but I just think, and it might not be a complete heel turn Sunday at WrestleMania, but maybe it could be like, oh, I accidentally hit her, cost us the match. Oh,
yeah,
you the weak link or whatever. Well, bitch, I want the title shot again. You know what I'm saying? You know how I be. I think it's gonna be some shenanigans, and I agree with you. I think Liv and Raquel is gonna retain the women's tag team titles.
All right. I'm hoping that this is not the exact way the card shows up, but that's how they got it on the websites and stuff.
Right.
You got AJ Styles and Logan Paul going second on night 2. WrestleMania is WrestleMania, but still, but I think they're going to mess around and steal the show. And I think you're going to see AJ Styles. And if you believe AJ Styles and what he says, then he's got 2 more WrestleManias in him after this, and that's it.
You mean after this?
Yeah. He's 47 years old right now and said he's not going to wrestle when he's 50.
Okay.
So he's got 2 years then.
Okay.
Has been saying that a lot. Said it on Chris Van Pelt, the podcast, and so I think he comes out and I think AJ shows the freak out, and I think Logan Paul does too. I'm not a personal fan of Logan Paul, but respectfully, and the stuff that he's done in the ring already, and to catch on like that, and to really take it serious, I like that part of it. You know, I like the fact that he wants to get better. I like the fact that he wants to be a full-time guy, as they say, and work kind of into that. You know, but I see Logan Paul going over on doing some old dumb stuff and, cheating and stuff. And they'll probably, this is another thing that could go a little bit longer,
Right.
um,
I agree. I
so
agree.
I would love to see AJ get over. I can't wait to see what colors he wears. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. I think they're gonna steal the show, though. I think it's gonna be an amazing match. I think they're gonna pull out some great stuff. They're gonna do some high flying, high risk stuff. You might AJ might even do the 450 one time. I mean, just this. I think they're gonna steal the show. I think everybody's gonna be surprised because Logan Paul's already surprised everybody. But when you get in the ring with somebody like AJ, that makes you look 10 times better than what you already look. And then it gives you the confidence to do other things and try different things in the ring and try to hang with him. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that one. We AJ style guys anyway, but definitely looking forward to that match. Definitely looking forward to that. I think they're gonna steal the show. See Logan Paul going over on cheating, doing something crazy. Something happens.
I look at this like the WrestleMania 39 with Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. But
Yeah.
I think Logan is more ready for that
Yeah.
caliber of opponent.
Right.
Not saying he was bad then.
No,
but now we 2 years later. He
yeah.
had more work in the ring and he worked with more people.
Right.
And I really think that, what
And
they
we
was
have no
aiming
idea.
for 2 years ago, I think it's going to come into fruition.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Next Sunday night.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm with you on that.
I agree with you, though. I think Logan's going to go over. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be something high show speed or some YouTuber, got 500 million followers or something, going to go out there and do something, probably come out of the damn torch or something at the damn Raider Stadium. I don't know. Something's going to happen. But
if I'm ISO speed, I don't never show up at another WWE event ever again.
But something's going to happen, though. But I agree with you. I think Logan Paul's going to go
definitely. Yeah, but I Orton versus we don't know. TBA to be announced.
Yeah, I don't know. Even according to Raw tonight, I mean SmackDown tonight, I don't. He might not have a match for real because I thought it was gonna be him a solo with their promo, but that ended up just being a tag team match tonight.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for me to. It's unfortunate, especially with KO being injured. Very unfortunate that we don't get that match. And two, Randy Orton is definitely back 9 in his career. He ain't been in WrestleMania in a couple of years at that. So it's really
they're gonna find him somebody.
I was thinking bigger than that, man. What if he don't have a match, right? And somehow he gets involved in night 2's main event.
Okay. I'll give you this. What if Kevin Owens really ain't hurt?
I think we all kind of hope that, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, I know that's nothing to play around with.
Yeah.
But it ain't like it ain't been used as a gimmick before.
Right.
Shawn Michaels did it all the time.
Right.
Do a backflip, come down on that knee, and oh, and then what I'm saying, as soon as you come over there to check on him, he get a little a cheap shot in.
Yeah.
He did it to Batista, the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's true.
And he was always the face doing that. He was like Hogan with the back rake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Say your prayers and eat your
Ed,
vitamins, and then do the back rake.
Eddie Guerrero would loosen up the boots.
Oh man, that's a whole episode right there. But yeah, it's something's gonna happen. He's gonna be involved somehow. Like you said, it's been a while for him for WrestleMania. He's healthy. Like you say, he's on the back nine. You don't know what he's got left. In wrestling business, you don't know what's gonna happen anyway.
Right.
Anything can happen out there in that ring. Anything. So the fans can turn on you. You can get hurt. It's a number of things that can happen. So, I'm hoping and praying that Kevin Owens ain't hurt like they say he is, and he shows up and does something crazy, and we do get to have that match. But we'll definitely see on that one. Like I say, we got a whole nother Raw, we got a whole nother SmackDown to see what happens and see what comes together. All right, man. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre.
The Sin City Street Fight. I'll be honest with you, and they said something tonight. Of course, Drew McIntyre promo's been unbelievable the past
Yeah.
2 years. Like he's been really ridiculous. Shout out to Drew McIntyre and his character work. But he said something tonight. He was like, he's like, this came full circle from last year's WrestleMania, and it really has.
Yeah.
Because he beat Seth opening night 2 last year's WrestleMania. Of course, Damian cashed in because of the whole thing with Drew and Punk, and everybody know how that story unfolded.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, even though at first I was kind of turned off by this because they kind of beefed on Raw last year a lot, title matches and all. So I'm kind of like, I was tired of seeing that, but then at the same time, that it being at WrestleMania, it kind of makes sense though. Because I bought right back in, especially what they've been doing as far as the fighting and the backstage and the typical security. They fight off security. And, I mean it's the same stuff, but they really then the whole Sin City Street Fight. I think it's gonna be a physical confrontation. I'm not looking for a bunch of wrestling hoes. I'm looking for a fight.
Right.
Two
I
big
want to see him
guys.
come out. I want to see him come out in the jeans and the knee pads on top of the jeans with the tape fit, with the Gold's Gym, Charlotte, North Carolina tank top on. You know what I'm saying?
We got them jeans on with the back pocket cut out.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. And they got the belt on with the big buckle.
Right.
Use that. That's the type of stuff I want to see. Ron Simmons come out there in the white jeans with them cowboy boots. You know what I'm saying?
With Butch Reed. Barry Windham with them chaps on, Yeah, but now, but yeah, definitely. Far as I think it's gonna be a fight. For our prediction, man. It's one of those that kind of really don't even matter in my mind, man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Drew on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Drew gonna get the W on this one. You guys cheer.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna pick Drew McIntyre. Gonna be, like I say, it's gonna be a good fight. Two big guys. They're both, you know, almost the same. Drew's a big dude.
Yes, he is.
He cut up and
He put together, bro.
yeah, and Damian Priest ain't, he it's a reason why he wears that full suit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He
Right.
ain't showing that body off. You know what I mean?
Tonight on SmackDown, Drew had an eye patch on, and he was looking just like Snake, Snake Blizzard or whatever at Escape from New York. You know that? Hey man, he looked just like Snake Blizzard. That man had the eye patch on. I said, man, Kurt Russell out there with the beard and the hair, man. He man. Yeah, they had a good segment tonight.
Yeah,
So but yeah,
yeah,
I agree with you though. Priest, but Priest, if you look at his story and stuff, he used to be a real big guy anyway. I mean, he's a big
yeah,
guy, but
yeah,
far
yeah,
he was a big guy.
yeah,
He lost a
yeah.
lot of
So
weight and stuff. Yeah,
he's
he's
came
right.
along. He's like Gunther. They knocked that weight off. Even
Right.
Jacob Fatu, that's one thing they do when they bring WWE, come to the WWE, man. They get them guys slimmed down.
Right.
Like they look at Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
Kevin Steen, but he was kind of nasty over there in Ring of Honor.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he
So
was kind of nasty when he started NXT. I mean, he like you said, he
yeah.
he definitely put the work in.
All right, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew too. We're both on the same page with him. So like I said, I think it'll be a good one. Like I say, looking for a fight. Want to see a fight. Want to see them get a little outrageous. Beat each other up, and whoever wins, and then they'll probably move on to something else, something different.
Right.
All right, man. We're almost getting close to the end here. We got the Intercontinental title: Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Penta, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. Man, it's a lot of layers to this one. I'm going to use process of elimination though.
Mhm.
I definitely don't think Dom's going to win. Which yeah, he might be the one to end up winning. But
Right,
I'm canceling him out. Him and Finn, it's gonna be some shenanigans with because they've been flirting with them breaking up as well.
right,
So I think one's gonna cost the other. What if it's Finn gonna get jealous because Dom may end up about to get the pinfall, or Dom gonna fuck up? It's gonna be something between them two. They're gonna cancel each other out. Now I don't see Penta winning either because I don't see them doing that. Uh, Maybe, but I'm gonna go ahead and say now I think Braun's gonna retain and continue
okay,
his title reign.
all right.
I think
Like
the
I said,
match gonna be chaos though. I think it's gonna
yeah,
be all over the place.
yeah, good chaos, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I got a I had a vision before. It's a little different now. Um, now that Ray Phoenix done showed up, and I don't see them not putting them together sometime soon. Because they are the Lucha Bros. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And they
Um,
already acknowledged the fact that his brother's on Raw. They not even trying to
yeah,
hide from it.
right. Um, I was thinking at first that that it would be a thing where they had Braun Baker beat and Penta would do something to Finn and kick him out of the Judgment Day and let Dom win, and then Penta join the Judgment Day.
Oh, that'd be a swerve.
Yeah. So I thought about that, but then you got Ray Phoenix over there, so I was like, well, they probably don't do nothing like that. So
Right.
I see like I say, it's gonna be shenanigans. It's gonna be chaos, especially when you got two members of the Judgment Day not getting along, and they could pull a swerve on us and do something to where they make it to where the other one wins.
Right.
Vice versa. So I think I think he retains. I think Braun Breaker retains. I don't know, man. Think about it. I don't know. You need to get somebody over, but nobody gets hurt in the process because you really didn't beat me. You beat such and such or whatever. If I wouldn't have been knocked out by the guardrail, you would have never pinned such and such. You know what I'm saying?
True,
So
but
yeah,
that's why I feel that's true. But that's why I feel
yeah,
like with the shenanigans with the Judgment Day, that's why I feel neither one of them going to win because of that. It's like
yeah.
you
If
cost me,
anybody,
I cost you, or I would
yeah,
have won, but you messed me up, or you know what I mean. So many different layers to this
right,
that they can do. You know,
yeah. But I do. If somebody were to win, I think it'd be Finn Balor. I don't know about Dom. I think Dom is doing great right now. What he's doing, and I think he's still paying his dues a little bit. And being the son of Rey Mysterio, he's going to have to pay probably a little bit more than the usual person would, and make
he
him
gonna
work a
get
little
it.
bit harder.
If he was to win, though, man, the pop from the crowd, like the boos and stuff, that'd be
Oh,
awesome.
bro, it'll be even worse,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
right? And just seeing him showing up, slapping it,
Yeah,
that IC
yeah,
title on Monday. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. That'd be nice. I mean, they might do that. They might do
Yeah,
that. But I'm picking Braun. Though. I think he's gonna
yeah.
continue
I'll
and
go.
move
I'll go.
forward.
That's what I'll go with as well. I want to be different. You know what? Forget that, man. I say Dom's gonna win. We
Okay.
going with Dirty Dom.
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah. Now, if that storyline plays out, we know they're listening. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
We know they're listening. All right. Got the women's world title. Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley.
Now, this is one I actually am looking forward to.
Absolutely.
And man, I tell you what, they the layers the layers in this story is crazy too because of course, you kind of feel they was gonna do a triple threat anyway,
Yeah.
but the way they went about going about doing it, with the Rhea having a world title match with EO and EO winning, but they had the beef with Bianca and then Bianca special guest. We knew when she was special guest referee that was gonna be some chaos.
Right.
Double DQ. Then they had the whole thing when Rhea put her name on the contract. Of course that was unofficial. Then of course, but then they end up having a triple. Now they're gonna have a triple threat. And the way they've been kind of chumping EO off on purpose, like she the champion, but she the forgot one. Like even when they cut in the promos, it's like Rhea and Bianca arguing, and
Yeah.
EO right here, and they just kind of mushing her like get back, bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though she's the one that got the prize. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You know.
Man,
So
but that when you talk about Monday when she came off that top rope, off that springboard and kicked Rhea Ripley in the back of the head,
yeah,
bro, that was nasty. That was nasty. I think you're gonna see a lot of power moves between the two, and they're gonna and do the same thing in the match as far as concentrate on each other and leave
right.
her out. And I
Yeah.
think that um I think I got Io Sky staying the champ, and I
I
think it turns into she'll move on to somewhere else, and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair will keep feuding
continue
for
their
it.
feud.
Yeah, yeah. So I think
I
it's there to set up something.
I agree. I agree. I got the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. I think somehow EO gonna come out, especially the way they telling the story. It's like they purposely chopping her off, where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, y'all gonna disrespect me, but I'm the champion.
Right,
Like you said, they're gonna be focused on each other. You know how they do the triple threat matches anyway. She
right.
already got one, then she's gonna do, she's gonna do moonsault over the moonsault and be corkscrews and
Yeah,
she's the genius of the sky for a reason.
right.
And and she been putting in work, man. EO, I've been watching her ever since she was in Lucha Underground, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And the Black Lotus tribe. when she was fighting against Pentagon and Ray Phoenix and because they had intergender matches out there, they didn't give a damn, you
Right.
know. So she was always, of course, she wasn't called Io Sky with that promotion, but
Right.
if folks, if you're not aware with Lucha Underground, look that up, man. It was crazy, chaotic, but it was great television wrestling. It was definitely different. And there's a lot of current WWE and AEW stars that, the likes of what's my man, Swerve Strickland, and
Yeah.
of course Rey Mysterio, and Ricochet was great, Puma, and it's countless of others
Right.
that was a part of that promotion back in the day. Pentagon, Ray Phoenix, to
Right.
name a few. But that being said, though, I'm going with you, though. I think EO is going to retain,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be the focus going to be on Bianca and Rhea. Their ego's going to get in the way. They're going to be so focused on fighting each other.
Right. It's like, she's gonna be the forgotten one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Night 2, main event. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship.
They're not gonna pull the trigger, E.
They can't. There's no
They're
way.
not gonna pull it. I refuse to believe that.
He's not gonna be 7-time world champion, dog.
I refuse to believe that.
So let me ask you this. So he sold his soul to The Rock. So The Rock is gonna be there. Gotta be there.
Right.
Who, what's gonna, man, I don't know.
Well,
you want to top. Hold on one second. You won a top last year, first of all. I don't know how you're going to do that. Because you don't want to do the same exact thing and have 30 people show up at the end of the match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Does it set The Rock up for something between John Cena and The Rock one more time? If it doesn't happen and, The Rock couldn't deliver, or, Cena wasn't good enough, I gave you all this and that, I gave you everything you needed, you still couldn't beat him? Or does it set something up for The Rock and Cody? Because The Rock, had Roman, he couldn't beat him. You guys, John Cena couldn't beat him. Now the only person to be able to do it is the final boss.
My personal opinion, if The Rock gets in the ring with anybody, and I'm not talking about WrestleMania because we know he's not wrestling. We know he's going to be there. We assume.
Yeah.
I know he's not wrestling WrestleMania 41. We both know that.
Yeah.
But if he gets back in the ring, it's either going to be with Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. It's going to either be one of them two.
So does Roman Reigns cause John Cena to lose and set that up for next year?
I'm going to tell you, this I'm throwing this out there.
All right.
You know who's going to be in town?
Who?
Give it a hell yeah. He wasn't there last year.
No.
They already announced he's going to be there this year.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to be there Sunday? I don't know. Stone Cold, who knows? He would
Absolutely.
he would come just sign some out where he's scheduled to be there and go home. He don't give a damn. You know what I mean?
Right.
He'll be on Instagram out there with his at the Broken Skull Ranch,
Right.
Sunday, like, I had a good time last night, drinking a bunch of beer with the old buddy, But I got a feeling that maybe they're not gonna do exactly what they did last year.
But it's gonna be something in that area.
But maybe Stone Cold. I mean, because the only way you could have topped last year, what they did last year, was instead of Undertaker was Stone Cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
No disrespect to Undertaker, we both know that.
Right.
But Stone Cold and The Rock, that's WrestleMania. They main event. They fought three times at WrestleMania.
3 times, yeah.
Yeah. Same era. Like they was Agent Smith and Neo. I got that. Agent Smith and Neo. That's Stone Cold and The Rock. So
right.
maybe this time the Rock try to put his 2 cents in, and Stone Cold make the save.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's how I look at it. That being said, Cody retains.
Okay. I think we're both on the same page about Cody retaining. This is what I want to get to. So it's just April. So you got 8 more months in the year. And he's, John Cena's not done. Does he start going on a rampage and stay heel? And all he's trying to do is wrestle these different people to get to the world title, just like
it's gonna be about the chase.
Yeah. But is the chase as a heel, or is it does he stay a heel? Because you kind of said a lot to really go back immediately after one match. Because you said a lot and have gave the fans gave them hell.
Yeah, I know. If they was to do that, I mean, I could see them doing that, but that just to do one match and then be like, all right, well, he's Fruity Pebbles again. That would be very disappointing.
I don't think the fans would let them do that. I think they would boo the shit out of him.
I agree.
If they did that.
Yeah.
And I think it would be even worse than it's always been.
Yeah.
Because he would always get boos, but I think it would be worse.
I agree.
If they try to turn him face again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, might as well ride this whole thing out. Except for maybe the last one.
Right.
And then it gets real. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's really your last one. I'm not a heel or a face. I'm just John Cena that is living my dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if they do that now, I don't think the fans will let it happen.
Yeah.
I think every show would just be, and if he wins the title, bro, that place gonna come unglued. They might be throwing the souvenir cups in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I am gonna say, man, does not deserve to be 17-time world champion. He deserved to be 15. He's one of the greatest of all time. He shouldn't have got to 16. You know what I'm saying? It's just personal opinion. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that can happen. I know we just said we're going to talk about WrestleMania, but you got a lot of guys that are coming down to the nitty-gritty of their career.
Right.
And it's time to put to make some. I want to see AJ and CM Punk wrestle each other. I want to see them have some type of feud against each other. I'd like to see AJ wrestle John Cena again. I'd like to see Cena and Punk go at it again.
Let's see Cena and Orton.
Right. Yeah. You got Seth Rollins and Cena, which you've seen, you know what I'm saying? Just like different stuff. You got a lot of guys that you're going to lose in the next couple of years. And not to say this in a disrespectful way, but you need to be getting what you can out of them.
Right.
That can still go and give us some stuff that we're never going to forget. You know what I mean? Like you got the talent there. The old, these guys. Go ahead.
You got to think, and I'm just thinking ahead. We're going to have to see a Randy Cody. Could that be next year's WrestleMania?
Could that be who dethrones him? And do you give Randy the title one more time?
Which that's why I said keep an eye on Randy Orton for that main event.
Does he want to be the champion again, though?
Who knows? He don't seem like that kind of guy.
It doesn't seem like he's got to have the titles. HBK never had to have it his last, years.
Them guys now they're a little different than what they was. Or you hear they're veterans and they're in their 40s, and like they got a different mindset. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think when the guys get like, look at Punk now. They get that stage in their career, and it's just like they kind of look at it different.
Yeah.
Than they did when they was in their prime. Now they kind of appreciate that. Damn, I really on the back nine.
You
Like, how many
know,
more WrestleManias? I
yeah,
mean, Punk probably never thought he'd ever wrestle at WrestleMania. He probably didn't give a
right,
damn until he gave a damn. You know what I
right.
mean?
That and it's funny. Like I heard, Road Dogg said that he thought when CM Punk came back that they were going to have some heat because they had a little heat before.
Right.
He said when he first saw him, they hugged and everything was good. And he said he went up to Punk not too long ago and said, "Man, I appreciate your attitude and the way you've been handling things." And CM Punk was like, "Nobody has ever said that to me before, ever." But it just shows you these guys are different. But what it also shows you is that company is different now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's not just them. The company is different. Morale seems like it's higher than it's ever been or been in a long time.
Right. Right.
And but nobody's answering there's no Vince McMahon no more to answer to. They're answering to Triple H. And CM Punk definitely has been humble and has to, kind of look at himself in the mirror, if you want to think about it. Like I say, and we don't know these guys, but we're just going off what we hear and what we see. But you gotta take a look sometimes, and say, you gotta do a little bit better.
Right.
And be a better person. So shout out to them guys, man. Everybody doing, like I say, we got to see AJ and CM Punk. Got to see that. I don't think they might have done something in Ring of Honor a long time ago, and that might be it. But we got to see something like that. It's you got too many guys that are not going to be here soon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely look forward to that. Hey man, episode 16 in the books.
Sweet 16.
Yes, sir. That was our WrestleMania preview. Yeah, man, it's WrestleMania, dog. I'm excited. I'm excited for we're gonna be doing it at, same spot. It ain't gonna be over the computer. It's gonna be fresh off our mind because we're gonna record as soon as it's over with. So yeah, next week we'll go over to day one, and then the week after that we'll go over night 2. And and keep it moving because you know why? It's welcome to wrestling.
Welcome to wrestling.
Hey, welcome to wrestling, man. Hey, shout out to everybody that's listening. Again, thank you so much. We love y'all. Keep commenting, keep liking. And if it's the first time or you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, man.
Please.
Come on.
Please.
Yeah, go on this journey with us.
Please.
Yeah.
Show us
Go on this journey with us. We're having a
Please.
ball. Hey, it's welcome to wrestling.
Welcome to wrestling, Shady Bobby. Welcome to Wrestling with Big E and the PODCAST, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash, straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to wrestling's where you need to be. Shady Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me.